Dear Aquarius, I just woke up with some information for you as I've been planning to do another reading for you. I did the collective, I did a New Year's tarot reading for the collective for every sign a couple of days ago, and then relating to Black Moon Lilith going direct, and then I also did one for the collective in 3 parts on Instagram also within the last week since Christmas. I've just been really quiet. Anyway, and then yesterday I did one for Capricorn, and then I had been planning to do one for you, both because you guys are the first birthdays of the year, but also you both got difficult, you each got a more difficult card in the all signs reading, which I clarified, but then I also wanted to give you guys your own readings. So this is Vera. Hi. And you are asked this year and now in this moment to find and allow yourself new ways of being, of entering into or allowing in a stillness of contemplation. And this can be any way, you don't have to be sitting there still in meditation if that's not your thing. You could be going running, you could walk, you could, whatever it takes for you, and you'll have to know and find for yourself what that is, and that may change as life goes, but what allows you, or does anything allow you to really go into your deepest ability in contemplation? You are asked to go deeper. And I also I drew the cards, and I feel like this is a little bit of a divine union reading, but within really the divinity within yourself of like, but I think I may label it so others can watch too beyond Aquarius. I'm not sure, but it just came to me this morning, just so much. We have to trust in our bodies. We talk about balancing the head and the heart, but there's the lower areas of our bodies of connection and reproduction, and to trust in those as well. They've been so damaged and so made, it's just been used in different ways, and their fullness has been constricted, their full meaning and glory and integrity and sacredness. But we are coming into a time where we may access that more. And writer, and spiritual worker, Ariel Guy says, we know our own joy. We can trust our own joy. And this joy that we have in our bodies, is sacred. And I was walking with a friend the other day too. She was talking about that she doesn't like the fantasies that she has, or I don't know if it wasn't that she doesn't like them, but it's just that they do not relate to what she would actually want to experience. And to draw those two things more closely together, I think is important in terms of what we are doing with integration. People talk about collapsing timelines of integrating, all the parts of ourselves. And I just am here to say that I think it's possible. I've had a lot of trauma as well, but I think a deeper healing than we may have even hoped for is possible at this time. So Aquarius, you're getting a lot. But I really want to say to you is to find this place of centering in the body where you are deeply allowing yourself to be bathed in and to trust in and to be almost babied by and just loved by the central heart of the heat of the sun of our solar system, and then of our of also of the galactic center, the mystery and the love there. And then also your own heart within your body. And so I put and to trust in those things and to allow yourself to be carried and bathed and flow and love and ground in those, as a fixed sign. You're the first fixed sign that I'm doing the full reading for this year, and I'm a fixed sign as well. But we need that balance. We are the attendants of the spaces in which any spark of the cardinal and any shift of the mutable can happen. We hold that space. We give that foundation. We give that place. And no matter, I'm thinking of some Aquariuses who are important to me, no matter how you hold that and how you've half held it, or you've felt that you haven't maybe been in your full power, and maybe there have been certain things that not to over impinge on anyone's experience or think that I understand anyone better than they understand themselves. I certainly don't. But that the cards you got for the collective reading, for the all signs reading, you got the 10 of Swords and then the King of Pentacles. And so I'm asking you to find, I think it's an indication of a shift. This is what was coming to me deeply when I was waking up this morning as well. And I've been in solitude for days and really quiet contemplation. Something I only really get to do at this particular time of the year, at least in that certain way. So also this relates to timing and the way we tell ourselves stories and the way that we hold ourselves within stories and the matrix of understanding that we have built as humans. And there's times when the way that we have held ourselves up, or like allowed ourselves to live or survived our way through, or just become familiar with, and there's times when we just outgrow that, and it is painful to stay in that familiar place. And so we are asked to trust in the solidity of the self and move, the capability of the self, and move into a shift, a new place in the field of time, a new horizon, none of these words seem quite right, just like a new layer, but none of these words are capturing what I'm really envisioning. But anyway, so we are in this new place and you can look back. I have stories that have felt like they have just absolutely, and in painful ways, in heartbreaking and traumatizing and devastating ways, have really been the shape of my life, have shaped it so deeply. And then how I was saying to a dear person to me last month, what if I let go of those stories as defining myself, and instead of seeing my life so much in those stories of trauma and difficulty, what if I shift that and think so much about all the good that's happened and all the joy and love I've experienced as well, and then like the fear that or not the fear, but then like the sort of like loss of your orientation or what you're used to, the map you have, of your soul, which is part of what astrology on your birth chart is. But again, Ariel Guy, the cartography of the soul is not abstract. It is drawn painstakingly, and I can't remember her other word, carefully or something like that, by direct experience. Okay, so now we are shifting. We are beyond, perhaps it's partly my age in life, but I deeply believe, I talked about this being the 6 of Swords time for the entire collective as we move toward a place of greater integrity and joy for all. So we are moving beyond, I'm also starting to definitely read my rising sign and connect to it at least as much as my, more familiar sun sign. A funny thing is I had my I had my birth time off by 2 minutes for a long time, so I thought that my rising sign was different than it actually turned out to be. One of my teachers and friends, as I've been studying more about astrology in the last 5 or at least 5 years, I've done tarot much longer, pointed out to me, or realized, and also my mom gave me a copy of my birth certificate, and I was like, oh. So anyway, we can move beyond the stories that we have felt have so defined us, even if they've held us and there's felt a certain safety or at least familiarity in them, even if it's the harshest, most messed up thing. But it's like how you knew what your identity was in a way. Oh, our identity is so much bigger than that. Okay, and our joy leads us into the depths and breadth. And, now I'm thinking of the Elizabeth Barrett Browning poem, I love you, the depth and breadth and whatever, I can't remember, of my soul, and I love you, I love who I am with you. I tell my children, it's true love if it makes you want to be more yourself, okay, either in friendship or romance or whatever it is, anything that it is. Your cards, you got as an air sign, Keeper of Cups. So Eleanor Roosevelt is the Keeper of Cups. And this is, from the Our Tarot, it's all feminine figures. So this relates to the King of Cups, but also is very much beyond any simple or constrictive envisioning of gender. But anyway, an ability to feel all your emotions and absolutely live in a place where you feel all of your emotions, but not to be overwhelmed by it. You are capable. Think of that King of Pentacles that was right next to that Ten of Swords for you in your reading from a couple of days ago in the group reading. You are absolutely so deeply capable of feeling your feelings and using, and having a life that integrates all of them, allows for all of them, balances, here on earth as a fixed sign. You're our air, we breathe, For your first moon, okay, for the sun, I can't believe it, but this is what came up, the Seven of Wands. So this is sort of, I think of as like old ways of defending yourself, but so much cheerier, it's thrown down, and like you're just relying on the gorgeousness of the very materiality of this world, and then the sweet sun, and this could be your sweetheart, and here's our bigger sun, and then the galactic center as well. I was already talking a lot about this, but I was already thinking this, and then I had this for the sun and galactic center and your heart for you, and then these are the cards I got. No kidding. Okay, for your new moon this year, Seven of Swords again, but you're moving out of a sort of feeling this aloneness and sort of any methods that you've had to feel that you've had to use. There was something somewhat similar in the Capricorn reading, like no sternness, no, and for you it's not so much a sternness, but no kind of heaviness or this weight of having to carry this even in order to be self-defined and to be self-sufficient. You are, and so you can let go the defenses, and you can also come into a place where others, of more community, and where others are welcoming you, and you can receive help and shelter. And then for your full moon this year, Aquarius, it's to trust in the mystery of this becoming, of this shift. This can be a scary card to get, but it's also can be an absolutely freeing and gorgeous, moment of revelation and retrospection and initiative and trust in the processes of your own life and your own soul.